Hi, I'm David Chow here. Today's YouTube is the title is Buy Rental Property. Make money while you sleep. Okay, make money while you sleep. So getting interesting. So you must watch until right the end so that you know what kind of you know what how you can actually make money while you sleep. Well, one day richest man Warren Buffett he well, I'm quoting on him. He said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Okay? How do you like that? He said, Warren Buffett, the richest man, said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Oh, wow. Yeah. He talked about kind of passive income. Okay, what a powerful statement. Okay, well, I'm quickly just very quick introduction. Rental property will give you an income, so like a cash flow from the rent, and secondly, that's one. Second point is the real estate, the property itself will go in value. Okay, so over time, in Melbourne, sort of like after 8 or 9 years, it double its value. So if you imagine you purchased a house 10 years ago worth a million, now it's like 8 years later, now it's become almost 2 million. I mean, you look around the suburb here. I mean, they all double every 8 or 10 years, So the third main point is you don't need to be a millionaire to invest. I mean, essentially anyone can buy property, residential. I'm talking about residential property. Anyone can do. Essentially, you work, you get reasonable income. Practice a bit of frugal living. Don't just spend money to buy a brand new car, luxury. Go to 5-star restaurant. Go out. Dining and whining all the time. I mean, you could do that later. I mean, you don't want to spend all the money before you even that you can save it or make it. So investment properties a lot of time. I mean, you see a lot of people that actually making high income, but their expense, like I don't know, quotes maybe doctor or whatever, CEO or director of company, but sometimes they also spend a lot. I mean, the expenditures is source. They jack around the world every 6 months with the family, 5-star, 5-star hotel accommodation. I mean, five, luxury accommodation everywhere they go, 5-star restaurant class. I mean, sometimes they may give their parent that they're doing well, but because they get a very high income, but their expenditures is just as, or sometimes even more. So so basically, I mean, just prime properties. It could be for anybody as long as you work and as long as you're passionate and you can plan. And property investment is a long-term investment. I mean, it's good way of making passive income, and rental from tenant. Basically, that's why I say you make money while you sleep. I mean, the property value goes up every 8 years. I mean, you're sleeping 8 years, it kind of double. So And you can if you you purchase enough rental property, you can retire with this passive income, without any problem. So basically, second point I'm trying to say is you need a plan. Okay, well, we're saying attaining wealth, it doesn't just kind of happen. You can't talk about it. It's a bit like you can't talk about every day. I talk about I want to be a millionaire. I want to own 10 properties. You actually you need to have a plan. You need to you need to you need to be enthusiastic and you be passionate. You need to have you require a well executed plan. You need to have a strategy to get there. I underline this. Property investment is a process. It's a long-term process. It's not an event. It's not like you go to a F1 car racing. That's the event. You go to a party. But property investment is a process. It's a long term. It's a lot of things you need to do. You need to save enough money. When you're going to buy, how much you can pay, where you're going to do. It's a lot of things involved in it. But the thing is, it's if you're passionate, is it what you're going? You do it. You achieve it. What you achieve is good for yourself, family, for your future, for your retirement, for everybody, for family. You don't just simply make the money spend it all. It's fine, that's good. You can take the family to overseas around the world every year and spend all the money, but drive yourself some sort of luxury expensive car, Mercedes, Rolls Royce. It look good, but the thing is, you make it, you spend it. It's might live in one nice home and that's it. There's no more we talk about, So, okay, I actually come up with this, I don't know, I'm not sure whether you can see. Yeah, I'll read it down. BRRR. Okay, first, it's sort of, I think it's quite well known to property investor. First, B is for buy. You basically, it's your first step. Well, before your first step buy, you actually need to save enough deposit. Basically, excuse me. I'm sure the same in other country. In Australia, the bank would like you to put in a 20% deposit. 20%. So basically, your deposit need to be at least 20%. The more, the better. But the bank would have no problem renting up to maximum 80% because if they lend you more than 80%, there's a mortgage insurance that you have to pay, which could be a couple $1,000. So because basically the bank is taking a risk, lending you higher. But maybe, if you're a doctor, dentist, or high flying lawyer, I think the bank willing to lend you up to 90% because the higher, anything more than 8%, they're taking a risk, isn't it? Because you might have purchased probably $2 million. Next thing, the real estate situation not so good. Instead of $2 million, you're only worth $1.6 million. The bank actually make a loss. They might force, for some reason, you lost a job, you couldn't make a repayment, they forced to sell, you're only worth 1.6. They lend 1.8 million to you. So that's why that's why you have to pay a lender's mortgage insurance. Okay. So obviously, from a good investment point of view, you should have at least 20%. The more the better. You can save up more than 20%. Maybe you get some money from family, from mom and dad. So the property I'm talking buy, I'm going to talk about residential property accommodations. I'm not sort of, I would not recommend commercial property at this stage, or even retail sort of shopfront kind of real estate, because I mean with the advance of internet, online shopping, a lot of shops even here in Melbourne. I mean, a lot of shops is vacant. I mean, especially after COVID-19. I mean, a lot of profession in banking or real estate or other, even technical profession, engineering, architecture or something. They can work from home nowadays. Maybe 2 days or 3 days at home, 2 days in the office. I mean, basically, in fact, a lot of office space is still haven't able to rent it out in the CBD. I think it's the same in many countries. So I'm really talking about residential property, and first R is rehab, like renovate, rehab. Yeah, I think it's good to buy something that they need some sort of maybe cosmetic work on it, a little bit rundown. I think there's a saying, it's better to buy a real estate, the worst house on the best street, rather than the best house in the worst street. Yeah, okay. I mean, basically, the land value is worth a lot more in the best street. Okay, so it's good. We'll talk about. I mean, if you're a bit of a handyman, you can do some work yourself. You enjoy doing some basic renovation, and you. I will just I purchased some sort of Victorian house. It's one big house, about three bedroom. I subdivide it and make it 3 separate self-contained units in one big house. So each one of them has got its own entrance, bathroom, toilet, kitchen. They're all separate. A bit like your flat. Every flat is individual. I mean, you need your own separate key to go into your flat. The same thing in the house. So I was able to rent out two of the units with Airbnb. So I mean, it's a process, I suppose. You don't mind well, you don't need to do all the work. I mean, you get the land surveyor to do the surveying, submit the plan, but obviously you need to kind of work it out. I'd be happy to do that. So or maybe some property you can just do some a fresh paint, or maybe update the kitchen a bit, put an extra room, or put a pergola, or maybe put a patio at the back, or you put a, yeah. So I mean, what I'm trying to say is it's best to get some to a house, sort of like overseas established home, that you need some work, that you can do some work to it and improve the value of the place. And no point buying a completely brand new sort of off the plane, everything everything is already done. I mean, the builder, the developer, the architect, the real estate agent, they all make the money already. I mean, you pay for the top premium price. I mean, the chances of opportunity for what you pay to go out further, yes, it may depend on what the market situation, but everyone else already make the money. You pay the top price for that piece of real estate, So and second hour's rent. So basically, you can rent out in Australia. You can rent out unfinished. Obviously, you get a lower rent. You can furnish it, and sometimes including electricity, gas, whatever supply. So obviously, it's just like other places you rent out a condominium for everything, including furnish everything, the bed, furniture, everything. They're all inclusive. Of course, you pay top price. I mean, the tenant will have to pay top price. I mean, or even better. I mean, you can rent out in Australia. You can rent out with Airbnb, even shorter term. The guests can rent for one night, 1 week, 1 month. Sometimes you rent out for 1 week or 1 month. You give some kind of discount. 10% or whatever. Don't encourage them to stay longer because they save you the trouble having to go in and change the bed sheet, clean up. Obviously, the cleaning fee, the guest, Airbnb guest will have to pay for it. But the thing is, the less cleaning, the better. Because I mean, basically, you employ people to clean up, you pay more than the $50 you charge. It depend how how good the guest is, maintain the place. So Airbnb, you could double the rental. I mean, imagine a normal, say, a house, 1 or 2 bedroom house, a unit, you can get $450 or something, or $500. But with Airbnb, a week you can get $1,000. So practically double, at least double, So in that sense, yeah, if you fully book every night, fully book, well, you could get 2.5 and 3 times, the income. So the good thing about Airbnb here in Australia, and the third R here, refinance. You can refinance, or you can cash out the equity. I mean, why you can refinance? Because the property of the real estate that you purchase, say in Melbourne, about 8 years, you can double, practically double. Say something you purchased 8 years ago, $500,000, now we're worth $1 million. I mean, a lot of houses here that people, bought it for $200,000, now worth $1.5 million. But depending on what time you purchase. Basically, Melbourne, looking at the history of the property, the statistic of it, the workout average is 8 years. Okay, some other countries, so other city maybe even shorter or longer. Maybe Sydney or depending where and the location, suburb. So I would say the closer to the CBD, chances of going up much higher, because nowadays people like to live closer to CBD. They don't like to live too far away. I mean, too far away. They need to have car transportation, and also not. Well, in Melbourne anyway, it's public transport is not so good. So basically, everyone here in this suburb rely on car. Most people have 2 or 3 cars. So you need a car to go to supermarket, do some shopping. Go to shopping mall, and go and visit your friend. So okay, so you can refinance. Basically, Imagine you purchased something $500,000, say a couple of years ago, 4 years ago, okay? And you put in 100,000, so you borrow 400,000. Yeah, so you put in 20%, you borrow 80%. Say 4 years later, the $500,000 probably has gone up to, we talk about, gone up by 50%, right? Because every 8 years it double. So that probably is now worth 750. Imagine you have a fixed term loan, right? Okay, that you don't pay off. You only pay the interest, but don't pay off the principal. So basically, you borrow 400,000 in the bank. 4 years later, you owe the 400,000, but that piece of property is gone up 750. Okay, so your equity there is 350. So if you sold the house, you get 350 back cash. Okay, so basically, you can go to the same bank and say, look, I want to buy another property because I got equity. In fact, you don't really need to put in any of your deposit. You use the 350 there, using that to pay for the next property, okay? Or the bank give you want a cash out 150,000, because you're worth about. So basically, you borrow from the bank 550, so 400. The 150,000 you use that to purchase another property, 20%, 40% of that. So so you're buying something under 800,000. So basically every 4 years you can actually purchase another property. But in fact, if you're a smart investor, you will not want to buy a properties in a high range. You try to get onto a lower sort of middle or lower range sort of price range, because those are the properties that you're able to rent out easily, and your outlays is lower. I mean, you can use the same amount, buy two smaller property. Okay, rent it out. So basically, you can end up renting out 3 properties with but like 4 years ago with 100,000, but you end up owning 3 property and you collected 3 rental from 3 property. I mean that's considering you're not buying some sort of something like top of the range kind of properties. I mean, we talk about rental property, okay? Associate close to public transport. I mean, here in Melbourne, people like to close to public transport, train line, or tram line, or a bus, close to uni, kind of thing. Melbourne's famous for university, for education. People come to Melbourne. International students come to Melbourne. A lot of them. A lot of new migrants like to come and live in Melbourne. So okay, and so you can refinance. If the bank that you go to doesn't do that, or you go to any bank, any other bank, you refinance with any other bank. Don't stick to one bank. I mean, if one bank not happy to do that, then just go. I mean, there's no penalty. I mean, the government. I remember a couple of years ago, there's no exit fee. Basically, the government makes sure that the bank doesn't charge you an exit fee. Okay, because they encourage competition. Okay, so okay. The next item that I want to talk about is leverage. Actually, I know we haven't spoken about leverage, but if you happen to own leverage with properties is almost equivalent to wealth. I mean, if you happen to own property, you can use that property, go to the bank, and it's got very powerful leverage to get money from the bank for more purchase for any purpose. I mean, properties in a lot of countries, Singapore, Australia, America, and it's like gold, you know. I mean, you can't go to the bank and say, well, I own a Mercedes, brand new Mercedes. I want to borrow 150,000 to something else. No, the bank might not lend you the money because a car, you know, you can't use a car as a leverage. You can't, well, own a luxury yacht, you know, a boat. The bank might not, unless the yacht is worth 3 million, but you know, bank is not going to say, yeah, we'll lend you $500,000 because you use it, yeah. But you own a piece of real estate worth 2 million. You go to the bank, say, I want to borrow $500,000. I want to buy something else. The bank would have no problem because a real estate is a piece of, you know, physical assets, you know. And obviously they need to do a valuation of it. You know, they need to know what the actual value. So and they'll, yeah. So the power or leverage of using a property is very powerful. You know, it's you can't, you know. So you can leverage your assets to obtain more, to buy more assets, you know, of the similar kind of thing. So okay, I'm going to have a quick summary. Okay. Yeah. So rental property accommodation, I talk about this residential rental property. It's cash flow. You get rental, you know, short term and long term. Short term Airbnb, long term, you know. The type of real estate I'm talking about is residential. I don't think it's a good idea to get into a commercial or retail real estate, or even vacation. You know, some people here in Melbourne like to, some family own a holiday home in Fairfield Island, Lawn or Polar Bay or Lakes Entrance or wherever. But, you know, near the beach, Lawn, you know, but so they can use it like when the school holiday, they can go there for 2 or 3 times during the, but and the other time they can rent it out. But the thing is, I don't know. I don't think the vacation house. I think from the tax point of view, I don't think you can claim the interest paying for the vacation home as a rental property, because half the time you use it for your own your own family use, you know. So you can't claim that you're running a business, you know. You use it for your own benefit. So I think from the tax point of view, you need to be careful. Need to talk to an accountant. And thirdly, there's the tax benefit. I mean, in Australia, the government allow negative gearing. So basically, if you're in a high income, say, I don't know, maybe you a doctor or dentist, you make 200,000. A lot of, you know, that's why a lot of accountants advise those high income profession go and purchase by, you know, real estate, because the interest you pay to the bank could be, and also the maintenance, you know, whatever amount money you spend in maintenance, put in air conditioning, you know, a heating, a patio or concrete outside, do the garden, do a landscape, you know, they all could be deducted from your from it's considered part of outlay. Okay, so instead of paying tax on the 200,000, imagine you own 2 or 3 property, you pay interest and all that. Your taxable income is 100,000. Basically, taxable instead of paying 45 or 48% on the 200,000 income, you're paying on the tax on 100,000. I can't remember what's the tax rate. Could be 32%. So you save yourself $40,000 in tax. I mean that's come in handy, isn't it? and I mean you do that every year. I mean it's and on top of that, as long as you don't sell the property, there's no capital gain. I mean you own the property until you pass on to your next generation. There's no tax on it. Okay, so it's important. I even both Liberal and Labour Party here when they in power, they talk about getting rid of negative gearing, but they never do that because a lot of politicians own a couple of property. They own property themselves. And on top of that, in Australia, the government encouraged the private investor to provide rental property for people to rent. Otherwise, the government have to build all these houses for the people to rent, and then they don't have that kind of money. So in Australia, I think house ownership is only 65%. So basically, 35% people, 1/3 of the population need to rent. Okay, that's all it is. I mean, where would the government have the money to build all these houses to accommodate? They'd rather leave it to the private investor. So it kind of makes sense. And and also, as I said, the houses you buy, you should be something that you can renovate. You handyman, you do yourself. Some sort of improvement, maybe some basic thing, paint work, upgrade your kitchen or bathroom, what of this, bring it up to date. I mean, and your property value will go up straight away, 20-30%, So, and the capital gain. I mean, that's we talk about it. Capital gain. I mean, some houses here people pay, 150, 200,000 many years ago. Now worth on 1.5 or 2 million. What it is. I mean, that's what it is. I'm sure there's the same thing in Singapore, other country, America, Hong Kong. I don't know. I mean, you bought something $500,000 now worth $1.5 million, isn't it? I mean, because the land, short space, supply demand. I mean, here we can't get enough tradesmen, builder to build all these houses for the people, So that's why it happened. So you can always refinance and leverage your what you have. So and you just repeat the same thing, repeat the same process. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm just trying to say, but you got to be passionate. As I say, you got to set a goal. You got to plan. You got to set a goal. And practice some frugal living. Don't just simply go out and spend money, buy yourself flashy car, holiday, everywhere. So go to 5-star restaurant and hang out with the boys. Spend. Now, I think you need to try to save the money so that you can save enough money for deposit. You sort of, the more you spend, obviously, the longer it will take for you to save up that amount of deposit to buy the property, isn't it? I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say, I write down and I should say, well, it's a simple thing. You can repeat the same thing. Property investment is not a rocket science. Okay. And you don't need an MBA, you don't need to be such a smart person. You don't need an MBA degree to understand. You you don't need to be an accountant. So okay, long-term investment, you know, it's a it's a long term. It's a process. It's not an event. Okay. I'll finish with that. I'm going to talk more in the future about maybe talk about Gary, maybe get into real figures about you know every few years you can sort of purchase a property, rental property, build a portfolio of properties. There might not be all in one city, like Melbourne. You can buy some country town, Bendigo, BRRRR, Traralgon, or you can even purchase something interstate, but then you got to fly there to maintain something, maybe Adelaide, maybe Tasmania, maybe Queensland. Well, Sydney is too, the property values too high in Sydney anyway. You might not purchase something in Melbourne because Melbourne, the property price has already gone up. Maybe you look at something smaller, something a bit run down. You think you can improve it. I mean, that's the way to go, So, okay. All right, and that's something that we can talk about in the future. And you build up some sort of a, you build a portfolio of property so that you can maybe by the time you retire, you got this passive income. We talk about, I use the word making money while you sleep. Basically, it is. I mean, you go up value by every 4 years. You know what I mean? 8 years. I mean, obviously you need to maintain the place. You need to spend money. You need to be active too. Something need to be fixed up. You can fix up. I mean, it's still a bit of, it's still a hassle. I mean, obviously it's better to, more comfortable to sit home and watch the TV. I mean, instead of running around, instead of, the tenant ring you up at 12 o'clock, say, David, I locked myself out. How can I get in? Well, obviously I got a key. I got a master key. So I said, okay, Joe, I'll rush, I'll be there half an hour, okay? Just stay around. Obviously you don't want them to ring a locksmith on Saturday night, 12 midnight, and it's going to cost him $500 for the locksmith to turn up at 1 o'clock on Sunday morning. If you're willing to do that, sometimes you need to sacrifice a bit of time, but the reward is I mean, enormous. I mean, you're building a safety net for yourself, for your family, for your for the well-being of the whole family, for your kids, for your retirement. So well, it's all worth it, okay? I mean, of course, well, I like to drive a flashy Mercedes, brand new Mercedes. I like to go around the world every second year. But we need to sacrifice a bit, when at your younger year, while you're working hard. I mean, we come, it's I mean, as Warren Buffett, I think he passed away a couple of months ago, saying, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. I mean, what a powerful statement, okay? Just remember that, okay? So we need to find a kind of passive income, okay? All right, good night. Well, go and look at all my other YouTube. So I talk, I think half of my YouTube, I've done about 12, I think. Half of them is dealing with property investment. The other half I might talk about, I'm sort of come from Singapore. We talk about, a good title, isn't it? Crazy Rich Asian. Talk about Singapore, think about, so yeah. So if you like that kind of content, just check out on all my, just go to description on the bottom of this video and check out all the video I've done. And please do me a favor. Please, if you're new, please, you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I mean, I'm sure you've liked the content. Please subscribe, give me a thumb up, and leave some comment. So far, I got a couple of people who make comment. I also reply as well, give an answer. So I appreciate that, because some of the people watch my YouTube. They say, well, it's the wonderful content. You couldn't understand why I don't get more people view or more subscribe. And it might be my optimization is need to improve, which I really appreciate. I'm still learning. So, and email forward the my YouTube to your friends, and to your club, whatever club, a Rotary club or or community club, please do that. I really appreciate it. I'm passionate. I'm kind of semi-retired, so do I manage my own property myself. I don't use an agent, because I found that I'm capable enough to do that. And I say I rent out 2 of the units at Airbnb, so that's very time consuming as well. So, but other than that, I utilize myself. So I like to pass on some of my knowledge to anyone, to YouTube. So, and I think the principle is the same. I mean, I know that we talk about. I'm here in Melbourne. I'm a civil engineer, but I work in many civil engineer. But originally come from Singapore, but I live here in Melbourne. So I know the I'm kind of real estate sort of about in Melbourne. But I think the principle is the same. The investment principle is the same, whether you in Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Canada, United States. I know other countries might not be the same. Like in China, they built too many apartments. Millions of it, and the once the situation no good, and then the developer gone bankrupt. But we're not here in Australia. We don't build enough. We don't build enough houses. I'm sure it's the same in Singapore. This in Melbourne, we have a lot of new immigrants. Melbourne's famous for university here, Melbourne Uni, Monash, RMIT. They're all very appealing to the international students, from Asia, from Europe, from South America. They're all pouring into Melbourne. So these people need accommodation, okay? Even student. This is a student market. It's a huge market, especially near the uni, near the train, So that's why the location is important too. That's why you need to have some sort of on-site knowledge. You can't just buy something out the bush. People need a car to get there. And the petrol will cost you like $30 every day. No, you look at. Anyway, we'll do it another day. So good night. Okay, hopefully not too long. Good night. Talk to you next time.